All righty. So this morning we are going to be talking about doing the AZMerit Writing section of the test. I'm only going to be talking about the tips and tricks that you can use to do that section. So here is our class page. And here's all our assignments, and here are the alternate quizzes and everything for classes. Oh, and here it says AZMerit Practice Test Site. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to pop me right into the website. Okay. And when I'm entering the practice website, I'm a guest user and a guest session. I don't have to do anything. I just click sign in, boom, and then I'm in. Hopefully my audio works better. I'm re-recording this because I sounded like I had bees going around my head. All right, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to select your grade level. For my class, it's 6th grade, and we're doing the ELA writing sample test right now. When you come to this screen, you can pick different colors, right? I'm going to go with the black and white. I think that's the easiest way. That's what our eyes are used to. So just better to leave it alone. My mouse pointer, I'm going to pick large green. So you can really see where my mouse pointer is, but there's a lot of different choices. There's yellow, okay? But I like the large green. It's kind of cool looking. So, and then the print size, you have some choices there too. If I pick 3 times, it's really big and it kind of interferes with the test. So unless you need it to actually see the screen, I wouldn't pick that. Picking 1.5 though is really nice because it makes the writing just a little bit bigger and a little bit easier to read. So then I'm going to go to next. And you absolutely have to set up your sound when you enter the test every single time for every single test, because the directions are read aloud and different parts of the test are read aloud to students. You also may have the option to have text to speech, right? So I'm going to click on this. Okay, I can pick Zira desktop. Okay, and then you have the volume. I just leave it alone. And then you have the pitch. Right? Okay, so I'm just going to leave it there because I thought it was cool. Now, if I put it way up here at 20, listen to that. Don't do that. Keep it down around 10 or 12. Because if you have it read too quickly, sometimes it will skip over words when it's reading aloud, and that becomes really super frustrating for you. So this is about where you want it. Slow enough that you can kind of soak in what it's saying, okay? You have lots of time to take the test. So I'm going to click I heard the voice. If you click I did not hear the voice, you can raise your hand and someone can come help you. Do not skip it, okay? Check for it because the test will read to you and you want it to. Okay. Oh, I heard the voice. Continue. There we go. All right. Test settings. We can review that. It just tells you what we picked. And if you do have text to speech as an accommodation, it will list it there for you, but the teacher puts that in. All right. Here's the help guide. That's going to be a whole nother video. So we're not going to talk about that. We'll do the help guide later. Okay, so I'm going to click begin test now. And then it's going to go ahead and start the test. Okay. Being a little slow. So when I get into the test, I'm going to see things on the left side is going to be my, here it is. This is the reading material. And when I click these arrows at the bottom, see, next page, see, I've got 3 sources here. If I want to just focus on the text, I can click on the book down at the bottom and it brings the text. So it's 2 pages. So I have the whole spread just like in a book, right? And if I want to go back to seeing the other portion of the test, I just click the book again and it brings me back. If I want to do line reader, it didn't seem to be working on my first one, but there, if you click line reader, it'll start reading to you. okay? It will read everything to you, okay? And I don't know why it's not reading it in the, I think we had that problem last year too. So, but it will read it to you in the test. If it does not, raise your hand and one of the test proctors can come help you, okay? Because it could be that something's not clicked right, but it should read this to anybody. And over here on the side, there is only one question on the writing test. So do not click forward and think that there's another question. There's only one. You need to complete that whole section, just one section, and it's just writing, okay? There's not 5 questions, there's not 10 questions, there's only one on the writing. So if you try to skip forward and submit the test and you think there's going to be more questions, you have just exited out of the entire writing test. So remember that. So here's the question. Your art teacher has asked that you write a paper about a specific kind of art. Write an explanatory essay. So it's telling you what you need to do. No guessing. It's almost like cheating. It's so cool. The art, an explanatory essay about art created from found and recycled items. Your essay must be based, it must be based on the ideas and information that can be found over here. Not things from your own experience, but text-dependent question asking you to go back to the text on the left and answer the question and do your writing based on what's in there. Okay, it says manage your time carefully so you can read the passages, plan your response, write your response, and revise and edit your response, just like we've been talking about in ELA class. Be sure to use evidence from multiple sources. So my suggestion to you is when you get started, pick 2 sources to answer the question. Maybe you want to do source 1 and source 2, or source 2 and source 3. You can quote directly from the text. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. And this here is very similar to the rubric we use in class. We have it in a table form, like a checklist, and I will post the link to that in the video down there, down at the bottom. You can't see me, but I will post it in the bottom there. Also, so you're going to need to make sure that you stay with your purpose, focus, and organization, right? Maintain your controlling idea, right? Use a variety of transitional strategies. First, next, then, finally. The first thing, the second thing, the third thing, and finally, right? Logical progression, that means same thing, right? You want to make sure that your second idea is transitioned to carefully so that the reader can follow it. All right, and then of course, you're going to use the appropriate style and tone. You've been asked to write a paper, so it's going to be formal. If it asked you to write a blog, it would be less formal. If you were asked to write a letter, you would say, "Dear so-and-so," right? And then you would conclude it properly with "sincerely." For evidence and elaboration, okay, that's using your evidence from the text over here. You're using, you can use definitions, quotes, examples. Examples can be from the text. I think it's smarter to use the text. You can use a personal example, but make sure you're quoting from the text as well. You're expressing your ideas clearly and you are citing your evidence properly. Conventions is just periods, capitals at the beginning of sentences. So down here is where you have your space to write. So I'm writing, and then I'm going to quote from over here. Uh-oh, it says 100%. Where'd it go? There, okay, so I'm gonna quote from source 2. So pretend like I quoted from source 2. Using thorns to pin dried stalks together is my quote. I'm not actually reading it, and I have some misspelling here. Okay, and then I'm going to cite it. Source 2, comma, Catherine Hulick, period. You see, source 2, Catherine Hulick. I'm going to put that right there. And if you forget, look it. Okay. They've got all the information right there for you to credit your sources. So you have a way to get help during the testing just by looking at what's up there. Remember, I'm going to include a link to the writing rubric from class in there. It's got all of these words, so it's like in list form. So if you don't know what the words mean, you can make sure you know what they mean before you take the test. So when you see them here, you'll know what they mean. So there's also a dictionary up here. So you can look up words in the dictionary. And then there's notes. So if you have something you want to say, but you don't want to type it over on the side, you can type it there and say save and close, and then you can come back to those notes again later, see? So, but mostly what I do is I do all my notes right in here. And this goes on, it looks like it ends, but it doesn't, because I can keep going further and further, and it's endless. See how far I can go? Way down. So don't worry about having enough space to type, because it expands for you. That is the writing test. I want you to go in and click and try things out so you're familiar with this test site, because that will make your testing day so much easier. Now, reminder, this is not the actual test. This is an example from AZMerit, but the test will look similar to this. So playing around in here will definitely be help for you. All right. And that's it.